Hello everyone, the Punisher here. I want to do a very special poem for you today. So what is today? Today is April 1st, which is also known as April Fool's Day. But April 1st will always be a very special day for me. It's actually the day that me and my wife had our very first date. We had met originally on a website called LiveJournal, which is basically where you put like your diary on the internet. And we became friends, and then later on we had a date. Unknowingly, I scheduled it, or we scheduled it for April 1st, which is April Fool's Day. And my wife actually thought that I was going to pull an April Fool's prank on her. Like she wasn't sure. She went in hoping that the date was serious, but she wasn't sure. And for the most part, I don't pull April Fool's jokes. And I didn't even give the day or date any thought and consideration in the date at all. Like I didn't even realize what day it was. But the funny thing was, the joke was on me, because I didn't know what love was till that day and that moment when I met her. And I will always be a fool, deeply and truly in love with my wife forever. This poem I would like to dedicate to my wife. I had a concept from a very early age of what love was, what love should be. And all throughout my life, I've given a lot of love to a lot of people, friends and family. But I've never really felt the love in return. When I met my wife, a lot of things changed for me. Sorry. A lot of things changed for me in a very positive way. And I want to let you guys know that no matter what you're going through right now, with everything that's going on, if there's no one else, that I will always be there for you. Because throughout my life, there weren't always people there. Alright, I can get through this. Alright. Very difficult for me to do this video. Because I have no problem getting in touch with my emotions. I try not to share a lot of my feelings and emotions with everyone else. I guess it's a society thing. Even the, 13, 15 years of surveillance that I worked, if something bad happened, you weren't allowed to show emotion. You weren't allowed to show weakness. I witnessed a 13-year-old kid jump off of a parking garage. Well, should I say, I was running through cameras, being proactive, which is what Dirk Boss taught me to do. And a lot of people don't agree with his mentality as far as surveillance. But Dirk Boss is a great man. Rob Olson, my director, was also a great man. And they taught me a great many things. They were great mentors. Um, but I was running through cameras proactively, and I saw this kid laying on the ground, and he was just laying in this back alley on the concrete, and I called for emergency medical response. At the time, I couldn't show emotion, but seeing it and knowing full well from beginning to end investigating this and data mining it and finding out that the kid was having emotional problems, being bullied in school, and the child was suicidal. He left school and changed clothes and came to the casino where I worked and went up to the top of the parking garage. And then he jumped off of like 5 stories. And these parking garages are like 20 to 40 feet high, 40 feet at the bottom, and then like 20 to 30 feet maybe each floor. So you're talking pretty good distance. He ended up breaking every bone on one whole side of his body. But the kid did survive. Luckily, the kid will be okay. But at the time, I wanted to break down and cry. I wanted to have an emotional response that I wasn't allowed to have. And in a surveillance field, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to show emotion, to the point to where they tell you to leave the room if you have to break down and cry and go and be isolated alone. Society is a strange thing because while we gather in groups, we isolate others that think or feel differently than we do. We don't help people who need help. We don't look out for people or the little guy who needs to be looked out for. So, a lot of people ask, what is the meaning of life? The meaning of life for me is to live it, to be there, to do, to enjoy the things that life has to offer. A lot of people say, oh, the universe created us to discover the universe. We're here to discover ourselves. We're here to discover the universe. In actuality, the meaning of life is for you to be happy and for you to live and for you to do the things that fulfill you while you're here. So, for us to, as a society, to isolate others is a really tough thing for the individuals who are isolated. Whether it be from mental illness, whether it be from homelessness, whether it be from autism or your gender identity, the whole world needs to come together and realize that we can be inclusive to everyone, we can help everyone, and we can be loving and friends to everyone. All of the stuff that's going on right now will institute positive change if you allow it to change the way you think and feel about things and allow it to institute those positive changes. So, I'm kind of rambling, but I hope you get the point of what I'm trying to say. Don't hurt others, intentionally or unintentionally, if there's any way that you can help it. I'm not saying that I'm perfect by any means. Probably the exact opposite. But when I love, when I when I pour my heart into a friend, a loved one, a family member, a stranger even, I pour my heart and soul into you. And I don't know why the whole world can't do the same for others that need it now. And that breaks me. It really does. More than you'll ever know. Sorry. Okay. So, poetry time. This poem I would like to dedicate to my wife. I knew for a very long time, or should I say, I had a concept of love from a very early age. And while I gave out a lot of love, I never received it in return. So it's kind of hard to actually know what love was, or is, except for an idea or concept or thought form, when you didn't really receive that love in return. When I met my wife, that changed. My life changed. I've died several times in this lifetime. Luckily, I was brought back. Not always a pleasant experience, but I never truly lived, and I never truly loved, and I never truly knew what love was till I met my wife. Yeah, and I have to edit the crap out of this video. Wow. After I had met my wife, I knew probably within, well, I knew the moment I met her. But probably a couple weeks later, I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. And about 2 weeks into our relationship, I proposed to her. We waited a year to get married, mainly for her dad's benefit, because he was a little nervous about the way we met and us not knowing each other that long. We actually lived together for a while, and then a year after the date that we had met, which technically is online per se, we got married. We did a very private ceremony. I think it made a lot of people angry because there were people in various areas of the United States, and a lot of them, at least the ones that I know, which is to say my side of the family, but I don't really count my family as family. I count my friends as family. And kind of the family that I've been brought into and created, community and friends and that sort of thing. Those people are my family. But I think it angered a lot of them because we didn't have a big traditional wedding. But weddings aren't about other people. Our wedding was about us. So me and the wife, we went and got our certificate to get married, and we did it here in Vegas. Used to be you could just get married on the fly, but because people regret it and change their mind after the fact, like you have to go get a certificate, you have to wait like 24 hours. We did a drive-through, and it was a beautiful ceremony. And then after that, we went to Wendy's. And we had a couple burgers, and we watched the sun go down behind us and all the lights on the strip. Where we went, you can't really see the strip anymore because they built a lot of things that kind of block the view. But it was very beautiful and magical at the time, and it was just for us. I'm not saying anything bad about traditional weddings and people getting wedding gifts and all of that. But for us, you know, we hope we didn't upset anybody by doing it the way we did. But we got married for us. We didn't get married for the big wedding. We didn't get married for housewarming gifts or wedding gifts, or, you know, to have like a big elaborate dress or flowers or a bunch of guests or arguments or to send out invitations or any of that other stuff. We got married for us. And, you know, when you truly love somebody, or you truly love each other, that's all that matters. The rest of it is just, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say.
Our hearts were thumping, it was you, my brown-eyed girl. You, my brown-eyed girl.
This poem is entitled Eternal Love, from my 2004 book, I'm No Robert Frost. Eternal love. I learned something about caring and friendship as it seems. When girls are young, they live on whims, fantasies, and dreams. Caring, respect, and honesty foster into love as time passes by. When you're younger, you don't realize its importance, and now I wonder why. Dreaming for the future is how it all begins, but loving for the future starts by being friends. I can say a million things about relationships, and I can say a million things about love. The most important thing in a relationship, any relationship, friendship or otherwise, is communication. You need to communicate. Aside from that, you need to not have any ulterior motives or any thoughts about changing things. You know, the whole world kind of needs to accept people as they are. Stop trying to change people. Love people for who they are. Love people for who they will become. Foster, proliferate, influence, role model, mentor, love, completely, truly, completely love each other. And at the end of the day, if you do those things, the world will become a better place for everyone. Not just you, but for everyone. Thank you. If you like this video or any of my other videos, be sure and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also watch me streaming on Twitch, where I play Magic the Gathering Arena, and I try to destroy everybody in the MTGA universe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the flip side.
You